Hello, Glenn Demnon here, working on the bus again today, and I haven't put out a video for quite a while. It's been a few months, I think since about the end of December, or middle of December. So I'm working on the bus again today, and what I'm doing today, after a long winter of not doing a whole lot outside the bus, but what I'm working on today is my stairs. And so what I've got here is I've removed the the bottom tread here of the stairs. This is pretty bad shape, and of course the bus used to have the double doors that would the double air operated doors that would open up, you know, side by side. And so of course I switched out to this sedan door eventually. And so with the double doors, there were two steel rods that came down, and they would turn as the doors would open and close, and so those would go through the floor. And so that's why the old stair tread had the two holes on each end, or one hole on each end. And so I've been really just kind of contemplating on what I plan on doing here. So I went ahead and just added some insulation on the side here. That's just some extra stuff that I had. This isn't really subject to much moisture, maybe except for just right by the doorway here or whatever, but I'm not too concerned about it. And so what I'm doing is I'm cutting, I've got this piece here, it's just sitting on here right now because I want to seal it down with some 3M 5200 black sealer adhesive, but it's too cold out. It's getting down to about like 30 degrees and during the day, or 35, and maybe down to the 20s at night, and it's just too cold to actually try to glue anything like that down. So I'm just going to wait. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all my parts and stuff and get them all figured out. So I'm building a new stair tread, and the way this is here is it's got this piece here is a super thick vinyl, and I've got a piece in the shop I'll show in the video here in a minute. And so my door gasket under the door here that I've added later on, this piece here, this door gasket will seal right up against this piece once it's fastened in. And then of course I have the kind of the pieces on each side that kind of makes up for the gap there. And so the door closes nice and solid, and seals up really good. So so I've taken this part across here is kind of hollow underneath. So I drilled a bunch of holes and filled it with spray foam across here. And then the back part I can get to from underneath the bus. That's just hollow up in there. So I'm going to spray foam all that just to make that a little bit warmer. And so I'm going to make some new vinyl treads. And then I've got this aluminum here that's just like the material on the door. This is going to go up alongside here. Anyway, it's going to fit. There's a nice little spot for it to slide into there, which I haven't quite totally finished figuring out yet. Anyway, but it's got a place to go, and that's going to take care of this first part. And then I still have to make I want to go ahead and make a separate piece that's going to cover this, which will match the door. And then these other two treads, once I figure out this tread here, then that'll determine how I'm going to do the other two treads. So I'm going to go out in the shop here and just kind of show you what I'm working on out here for that door, for that tread, I mean. So I've got this aluminum here. This came from the ceiling of the bus. So I've still got some of that aluminum I've saved. It's nice to have some good sheet aluminum. It's handy to have for projects, even if it's not for the bus. And it's got kind of a vinyl sort of a finish on it. Anyway, so that came off the ceiling. And so I've got this piece here ready to cut out, and this is going to fit for that bottom tread. And this is the vinyl material, or rubber or something, I don't know what it is, but it's real super thick. It's a stair tread material, and that's going to glue down there at the front of the bus, or there at the tread there by the door. And then the vinyl material that I'm going to make the tread out of will fit up inside this little groove. This side here I've cut off with a table saw, so it's just anyway, it's different for that first tread. But so that should come out pretty good. And so I figured I'd go ahead and make another video on putting this stuff together. So then I've got this material here. This is kind of a edging material for metal, and so this is just a scrap piece of aluminum, and this edge material just kind of fits right on there, and it just makes for a nice rounded edge, and it also quiet the panel down so it won't rattle as much. And then all the panels that I put on, I'll be putting a foam backing on before I screw the panels on. So I want to have them where I can take them back off and things like that. So anyway, so that's what I'm working on. And the vinyl flooring here that I have here, this is going to be 2 pieces going across here. The reason I'm using this aluminum is I'm going to take these 2 pieces, snap them together, and then fit it onto this piece. It'll actually come about 1 inch further past to about here. And so that's going to kind of join them together. So I'm going to snap them together, glue them to this piece, then the whole tread then will glue down there in the bus to make my first stair tread. So that's the project, and it's kind of a concoction that I've come up with, and I hope it works out, and we'll see. So I'll go ahead and have some more video on that. Now, just so you know, I mean, I've been working with metal for probably 25 years, and I do not recommend doing what I'm doing here, actually. But what I'm going to do here is I'm cutting this aluminum freehand in the table saw, and because it's at an angle, and it would take a bunch of rigging to be able to cut that angle through the saw. So I'm just going to freehand cut this line and call it good from there. So I guess it'd make the blade turn a lot faster if it was plugged in. So again, I would not recommend doing that, but I did it. And again, I've worked with metal for years, and I've never really had a problem outside of just little cuts and nicks and stuff now and then. And I don't, claim to have any immunity to that sort of thing. But it's funny because I'm out here working with this metal working on the bus, and I go in the house and I cut some potatoes and cut my finger twice, or once with, cut both fingers with one cut. And so anyway, that's just how it is. Anyway, so I've got that piece cut, and so the idea here is to shape that vinyl to fit right on this, provided it fits in the bus where I want it to. And then it's going to be, the vinyl will stick over 1 inch past here, and it should fit right into that little groove in that nosing material and then drop right into place. Okay, so I'm back out here at the bus, and it's kind of hard to have a camera set up in such a tight quarter, so I'm just going to kind of see how this thing fits here, and I don't know how well this video is going to come out, but the idea here is for it to butt up against that backside. Already got rocks and stuff in there. Anyway, back up against this backside here, and then square here, which of course is off square, but that's going to work because I cut it, it's just right so that the vinyl will actually fit. It'll glue onto here and it'll fit up inside this groove. So it looks like it's going to work just fine. I'm not sure what actually happened here though, because this was supposed to end up being approximately the same or parallel with this piece. For some reason it's not, but it doesn't matter as long as my vinyl piece is actually the right size. So I can kind of take this and use it to size up the vinyl. So I'm adding 1.25 inches here, 13/16 here. Again, I don't know how I got that so far off, but it doesn't really matter for this piece because this is just going to glue on top of that anyway. These old window bars work good for a straight edge. Again, with all these tapers, I'm going to freehand it again. The idea here is for this to glue down to this. And even after I glue it, I can still trim it out more if I have to. So theoretically, that'll be my first tread. And the whole thing is going to be about as thick as the original tread also. So this is kind of experimental, but we'll see how it works. Makes for a pretty stout stair tread actually, by the time it's all done. Okay, I'll let that dry, and that should be pretty good. Meanwhile, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and kind of size this panel here up if I can. I don't know if this camera is going to be good or not in this little tiny space, but anyway, the idea here is I've got a groove here behind the gasket frame. And there's a piece of steel behind there that apparently the old panel used to mount to. So that aluminum should fit right in between there. Theoretically. So it's a little bit tall. I'm gonna have to wait, I think, until I actually get that step in, or that tread in there, because that's going to affect the shape of it and how this is going to go in there. Should be pretty good, I guess. Okay, so I've got my stair tread completed here, and it's got the aluminum on the back. It's all glued to it, so it's like one piece, and it's about a 1/4 of an inch thick or so at the edge, and it came out pretty nice. So this goes in the bottom quite well. I still have yet to glue this piece on. It's so cold out right now, it's like 25 degrees, so I just can't be gluing that stuff when it's that cold. Anyway, this in there already. So that's the stair tread. Then also I have the other two stair treads out now. Those are sitting here. And these had a heat pad under them. I just find that hard to believe. I saw this thing, I didn't know what it was, but it has a wire coming out of it. And then when I took this one out of the next stair up, then I had to cut the wires off of it. And it has some wording on it. It says some kind of heat strip or something in there. And anyway, so I've got my all three treads removed. So what I need to do now is just pull the edge of this one off. Let me tell you, this stuff is not easy to work with. The whole bus stinks now with smoke from the cutting that stuff, and it's just a nasty mess to have to deal with. So I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do my risers. I don't want to build them out square because I like having the extra toe room, and then I also like the way the stair tread just goes right up flush with the edge. So I suppose I can leave the stainless, clean it up, get rid of this, and cover it with something. If I cover that with something, I'll probably need to make something for all three. I don't know. I'll figure that part out when I get to it. Okay, so I've got this, what I ended up doing here is I cut the edge of this nosing off. It was in here. Actually, it was over here, but anyway. So I cut it off. It's got the steel inside it, so that was stainless steel going across. And so I'm going to glue this down here, this leading edge, along with the stair tread here, going over that. And I cut the stair tread off here just enough so that it'll rest on this lip. So it's nice and tight all the way down. That way when you're walking on it, it's not moving up and down on you. And I think that's going to work pretty good. So now I'm going to clean up this mess and start gluing these stair tread nosings down. Then I can start fitting my stair treads in. So I'm going to do something on the top here similar to the other steps. I'll put down a piece of aluminum that'll be the thickness of the edge of this nosing material. That way it's flat. And then my vinyl flooring will fit on top of the aluminum and right up into this edge. So that should work out pretty good. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so now it's about a week later since the first part of this video, or the last part that I did. And so I'm out here at the bus this morning, and I've got quite a bit of work done here. I don't remember exactly in the last video what parts of this that I showed, but I did trim off the front nosing of the original vinyl so that I could install this vinyl piece on top, and the vinyl pieces all sit on the edge here, so when you're stepping on them, they're not you know, squishing down and relying totally on the glue. And that the same applies for the rest of these. They're all trimmed off to fit right on top of the ledge. I decided to go ahead and keep this on there, otherwise I take it off and then I've just got a bunch of holes to fill, and it looks kind of cool anyway. It's kind of iconic anyway. And so so there's this tread. These all again sit on the lip of the stainless here, and then the bottom one, of course, it had to be cut at an angle. And so this vinyl here, actually the door gasket at the bottom here actually seals against this edge all the way down. And then these are in there just for to kind of fill in the ends. And so the door's sealed up pretty nice. And so these pieces, I decided to just set them in place and not even fasten them, because they're easy to pull out. You can clean under them. My concern was that if I glue them glue them down, then if you don't get it super tight around the edges, the glue, then sand and stuff can get under there and start working its way under, and then it would be really difficult to pull them up if you ever had to, especially if you had to replace them. I mean, this vinyl's pretty hardy, but it's not 100%. I mean, it's not like, you know, super hardy. I mean, it's subject to damage. So that way I can pull these right up. And so what I've got here, I went ahead and cleaned this up here, and I've got my stair treads here ready to set in place. Obviously, they've already been set in place once. I just took them out so I could clean this up. So this edge here, again, I glued the vinyl flooring down to a piece of aluminum. This piece of aluminum came out of the ceiling of the bus. Again, using stuff from the original bus. And the aluminum stops here. That way the aluminum is just filling in the space here, because it's got this lip here. So this is accommodating, this space is accommodating for this lip. That way it sits nice and flat all the way through. This edge goes up inside the edge here, and then it just drops right into place. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's kind of hard to do with one hand with the camera here, but it's funny too, because this one here, I had to taper it. It was like the original steel was like 1/8 of an inch off from one side to the other. Why a manufacturer would even do that, I have no idea. Anyway, but that sits right into place. It looks real nice. And this is the next one. Pretty much the same idea here. Sets into place here. So it looks pretty sharp. Then I went ahead and installed diamond plate around here. This is still a work in progress. That's a whole nother deal. This chair is going to go. This is all going to be modified here, so I may be making some changes here, but for now it is what it is. And so I went ahead and put that diamond plate all the way across, and then over here I filled in this area here with the diamond plate. I was going to put the diamond plate all the way across, but you know, it's getting into all these little grills and stuff, and I just decided to just fill in this area here, call this good for now. If I wanted to change it later, I could. But this works pretty slick here. This hinge just goes right in there and works pretty nice. It looks pretty good too. The diamond plate on the door obviously complements the rest of the diamond plate. And then here, I've got this piece here that fits in here now, like so. Then it goes up tight, comes out just a little bit more. Then it takes a screw here. I still got to finish my screw pattern. I'll probably have one here, another one here next to that one, and maybe a couple more going down through here. And that's pretty much what it looks like. So anyway, so that's going to be the today's video, and I'm hoping to make some more videos. I just don't know on what yet. I still have to install my bathroom exhaust fan, so I could do a video on that. And then also I'll be installing 2 additional solar panels at the front of the bus, giving me 12 solar panels and a total wattage of 3,600 watts. So that's a video for today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And again, it's been a while since I put a video out. Going through the winter time, I think it's been about 2.5 months since we did the Christmas parade. Now it's about the middle of March. So appreciate everybody watching. God bless.